Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining me wherever you are joining me. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. And if you're joining me on the YouTube channel, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. If you're joining me on Twitter, as always, you've been down since the beginning. I'm confused because I was told by anybody who would ever, like anybody who ever says this, that QB wins matter. Like that QB wins, that's a real stat. I've been arguing with people for years about QB wins and why it should not be a quarterback stat. It's the ultimate team game. The quarterback should not get all of the credit, nor should the quarterback get all of the blame for QB wins. And people have been telling me for years that wins are a QB stat, and that the QB is the most important player on the field. And because the quarterback is the most important player on the field, then wins matter for the quarterback. So much that when you see statistics on quarterbacks, wins and losses, they're a quarterback stat. I don't know how the win and a loss can be a quarterback stat and the head coach stat, but you know what? Cool. Doesn't matter for anyone else. It only matters for the quarterbacks. Now, I disagree with this, but this is what you guys in the media world, in the sports world, have told us is a thing. This is what you guys, the fans, have gone about saying is a thing. That wins are a QB stat. So why is it all of a sudden this weird thing happening where the wins are not being attributed to the quarterback, where people are starting to push back on it? Is it advanced analytics? Is it, we have new information? I don't think that's it. Here's what I think it is. And it's not going to be surprising to many of you, but I think it's who's winning. See, the idea that QB wins or wins was a QB stat was all fine and dandy when it was guys that did not look like me who were at the controls of the team. The moment those guys started to look and sound like me was the moment that quarterback wins started to not be valued the same way that they've been valued in the past. Color me crazy, right? Color me crazy, because this is just what I've seen. I'll give you an example. Deshaun Watson this year, we won't say that he's been good. We won't say that he's been great. But when he's been at quarterback, the Browns have won. And now all of a sudden, it's, well, the Browns would have won those games regardless of who was at quarterback. Yeah, but they didn't. The statistics show that while he has been the quarterback, while he has been with Cleveland, they have won more with him than without him. And yet, we so trivially decide, oh, well, those wins won't be contributed to him. That those wins aren't on him, that he's not the reason that they are winning. But why? Why can't you keep that same energy that you had when those quarterbacks didn't look like Deshaun Watson. It's amazing to me how we are able to flip the script when the hue of the quarterback isn't the same as it's been in past years. When Baker Mayfield was winning a bunch of games, being mediocre, I shouldn't say mediocre, that's not fair. When Baker Mayfield was winning games and they had the most dominant run game or the second or the third most dominant run game in the NFL, nobody said, yeah, but they probably would win these games without him because it's the rushing attack that's getting it done for him. It's the defense that's getting it done for him. No, they just said Baker Mayfield is winning games. Right? That's what they said. Baker Mayfield's winning games. And when he stopped winning games, they blamed him. So I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying that keep that same energy for Deshaun Watson. When he was out there, they were winning games. Period, end. Right? If you're going to make QBs, if you're going to make wins a QB stat, you cannot arbitrarily decide when you want to use the stat and when you don't want to use the stat. That is slant. That is bias. Those are all the things that we try to avoid in this industry that used to stand for integrity. This industry that used to stand for being right, for impartiality. You know, I'll tell you a story. When I was in journalism school, they actually told me to register as an independent. Now, I don't consider myself to be one way or another, right? I vote for what I believe is going to help people. Not even always myself, because a lot of the stuff that happens, I don't get a chance to take advantage of, but I would want to. I would want to if I was in their situation. And so I registered as an independent because as a journalist, you're supposed to be able to see things down the middle. You're supposed to be able to look at both sides, to argue both sides, to present both sides. Right? That's the job, but that's not what happens nowadays. Because the moment that the tabloid magazines started outselling the news magazines and the newspapers, then the news magazines and the newspapers decided they needed to dabble more in tabloidism. The moment that the opinion columns became the most popular thing, the moment that the opinion shows, the hot take shows became the most popular shows, then all of the news shows, sports or otherwise, took a back seat. So cool, we're here now. We're here. But don't think we don't remember. Don't think we don't remember that this is how you set it up. So if you're telling me that wins, are a quarterback stat, then keep that same energy when the quarterbacks are black. Don't try to qualify Lamar Jackson's wins. Lamar Jackson's win percentage is ridiculous in this league. Don't tell me, oh, he's had a good defense. You know why? Because when they didn't have a good defense, he held them down. Don't tell me, oh, well, they have a great rushing attack. Because he was the rushing attack. And this year, you can see that he is purposely not running. Like legitimately just decided, you know what, I'm not going to run. I'm going to do this thing with the arm. And this dude is completing 70% of his passes. And yet, when there's one game where the defense doesn't get it done, right? Where the defense gives up 20-something, 30 points, they point to him. But when they win, they try to make it seem as if, oh, well, wow, this was a great team win. No. Give that man the win the same way. Give him the credit the same way that you gave the credit to these others. Why has Josh Dobbs not been stamped the way that a lot of your other gritty, journeyman, white quarterbacks have been stamped in the past? Why isn't he getting the Fitzpatrick treatment? Right? Why is he not getting the Garcia treatment? He just wins. He just knows how to play the game the right way. He's gritty, he's tough. He's smart. We'll contribute quarterback wins to guys when they win and then completely dismiss them from the win when they lose. In LA, the Chargers, Justin Herbert is about to get another coach fired. Yeah, you heard me right. He's about to get another coach fired. He got one coach fired because they said the offense wasn't good, even though he had one of his best years as a rookie, right? They said the offense wasn't good, so they fired the brother. They brought in Staley, who was a defensive coach. He brought in an offensive coordinator. They fired that offensive coordinator and brought in the guy from Dallas. And I said, you guys are going to be surprised when Dallas's offense is still good and the Chargers offense does not look significantly better. And everybody killed me. And yet, now he's about to get Brandon Staley fired. And by proxy, the offensive coordinator that he brought in there to try to help this quarterback reach its full potential. And yet every single time they lose, they blame it on somebody else. Oh, well, this person dropped a short touchdown pass. So that one drop for the touchdown was the reason why their offense sucked all game? If you ask Patrick Mahomes about the Monday Night Football game last night, Marquez Valdes-Scantling for sure dropped the touchdown pass in his hands, walking into the end zone. Ask Patrick Mahomes if Marquez Valdes-Scantling is the reason that they lost the game. I guarantee you, Patrick Mahomes will say, hey, we didn't play well as an offense. It should have never came down to that. That should have never been an issue. We should have never let it get to that point. You know why? Because a guy like Patrick Mahomes understands that it's not one play that kills you. That it's more than one play that'll kill you. And so Patrick Mahomes would not have thrown Valdes-Scantling under the bus like most fans will. But with the Chargers and Justin Herbert, if he wins, it's because of him. If they lose, it's because of everybody else. Well, wait a minute. If the QB wins, doesn't the QB lose as well? So I don't want to hear about it's everybody else's fault. when I go and I watch the game and I watch you airmailing balls over everyone else's head when it's not. Hey, guess what? The Pittsburgh Steelers are where they are right now in spite of their quarterback. In spite of their quarterback. And yet so many people were giving us that Kenny Pickett is going to be good jazz. When I came out and said Kenny Pickett only had one good season at Pittsburgh, Kenny Pickett is 25 years old. Kenny Pickett is not going to be good in the NFL. They have better quarterbacks on the roster. They had Josh Dobbs on the roster. I said that. People said we were crazy. He came out, threw a couple touchdowns. Everybody said you were crazy. That was the last time we heard of Kenny Pickett being good. Because he's not. Hey, low key, Josh Allen is starting to regress to the mean. Right? He's thrown so many interceptions. He's had so many turnovers that now it's becoming impossible to ignore the fact that he has a turnover issue, that he's not as good as people made him out to be. That once they got the book on Josh Allen, remember that? Oh, they'll figure him out. That's what they've been saying about Lamar every year since he came into the league. They still haven't figured him out yet. Once they figured out Josh Allen, he hasn't been great. Hey, just take away the one guy that he can throw the ball to that changes the dynamics. Make him throw it to other people. That's essentially what happened. They went out and got Diggs. He became an all-pro quarterback. Well, duh. So we can't not blame him for the losses when he has the most turnovers in the game. Yo, this dude has a Jameis Winston level of turnovers and nobody talks about it. Why? Because he's big and he's got a cannon arm and he's white. I don't understand why we can't just say it. We know the truth. The criticism does not come the same. It does not come the same. And the accolades and the praise don't. So when black quarterbacks are out here doing the damn thing, running the league, when the black quarterbacks are out here changing the math, when I look into college and I see them still trying to push Drake May and going, don't you see Drake May all around the league right now? Hey, yo, guess what? Trevor Lawrence is not the savior that all of you guys made him out to be. He's just another quarterback. He's not awful, but he's not great. He's not awful, but he's not great. And he's not even on the level of, I'm going to elevate this team to wins. Because I watched Jalen Hurts last night struggle, but still find a way to get his team into the victory column. And yet today I hear people saying, oh, well, that isn't Jalen Hurts. That's the defense. That's because Kansas City gave it away. Whoa. If they have, you know what? Do this. Take Jalen Hurts out. Put whomever that sorry ass backup they got in, because most likely he's sorry. Right? And then Try that QB sneak with him. See if it's the same level of success. Or is there something about your quarterback that squats 1,000 pounds that makes this thing different? I watched as the Chicago offense looked completely different with Justin Fields back in the helm trying to get his feet back wet again. All of a sudden, it's explosiveness everywhere. Cole Kmet balling. Running backs popping off. D'Onta Foreman has been risen from the dead. Right? But when they lose, because their defense is giving up all of these points, they still blame Justin Fields. Yet, when he was out and they had an awful, terrible quarterback in there, goodness gracious, it was hard to watch him play football. When they got a win, people were like, oh, well, that's because Justin Fields doesn't matter. What? We're talking out of both sides of our mouths when it comes to these QB wins. Either they matter or they don't. And if they don't matter, I'm cool with that because they shouldn't matter for quarterbacks anyway. Right? I'm cool with that. But if you're going to give one quarterback credit for the win, make sure that you blanket it across the league. Make sure that everywhere we're looking, all of the quarterbacks get credit. Not just the ones that you like, not just the ones that look like you, not just the traditional quarterbacks. Make sure all of the quarterbacks are getting credit. Make sure all of them are. And make sure they're all getting blamed. So when they lose, right, they need to take that L. Not the rest of the team. Justin Herbert. Right? When they lose, they got to take the L. That's how it works. That's how it should be. Yo, shout out to Lamar Jackson murdering them. Shout out to Jalen Hurts murdering them. I'll show some love to Tua. I don't know if he really rocks with us, but you know what? Love to you, Tua, anyway. Geno Smith up in Seattle. They're trying to get Geno Smith out of there. He's got a winning record this year. Not even about what he did last year. He's still winning this year. They're trying to get him out of there. Oh, you're never going to win anything with Geno Smith. You can say that about 95% of the quarterbacks in the NFL. And yet, there's a bunch of people rolling around with $100+ million contracts. Let's keep it breezy out here, ladies and gentlemen. Because it can get a lot spicier on this mic. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Talk Spicy. Do this thing a few times a week. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree. But whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Till next time, peace.